Good evening and welcome to News Tonight on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tina Jha. Before we begin the bulletin, Rajya Sabha TV appeals to all its viewers to stay safe from the COVID-19 pandemic and continue to take precautions. Wear face masks, wash your hands and face regularly, and maintain physical distancing each time you step outside. Remember, these simple precautions by you are all that it takes to defeat the pandemic. And now let's get you the headlines of the day. India's COVID-19 vaccination drive to start tomorrow at over 3,000 centres. Prime Minister Modi to inaugurate the world's biggest inoculation exercise. Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan takes stock of preparations. Budget session of Rajya Sabha in two parts from 29th January to 15th February and 8th March to 8th April. Question hour, calling attention motions and weekend breaks to be part of the session. Next round of talks with farmer organizations on 19th January. Centre urges farmers to finalize concrete proposals. IMF says new farm laws will help efficiency and rural growth. Nepal will not allow anti-India activity from its soil, assures Nepalese Foreign Minister Pradeep Kumar Gyavali, requests India to provide COVID vaccine. And China got a befitting reply for conspiring to change the line of actual control, asserts Army Chief General Manoj Mukund Narvane on 73rd Army Day. The President, the Vice President and the Prime Minister greet soldiers. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch the world's largest COVID-19 vaccination drive at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday. Over 3,000 session sites across all states and union territories will be connected virtually throughout the exercise. Nearly 3 lakh people will receive the vaccine shots on the very first day. Each vaccination site will have nearly 100 beneficiaries getting the first vaccine shots. The vaccination will take place in a phased manner, with priority, of course, being given to healthcare and frontline workers.
आधे घंटे हम ऑब्जर्व करेंगे और वो बिल्कुल ये स्टैंडर्ड नॉर्म है या स्टैंडर्ड प्रोटोकॉल है कि हमको उनको आधे घंटे तक यहाँ बैठा करके ऑब्जर्व करेंगे। और आप देखिए कि इसी फैसिलिटी के एक तरफ में हमने एक रिससिटेशन एरिया बना रखा है। सारी चीज़ें यहाँ मौजूद हैं, हमारी सिस्टरें यहाँ होंगी, एनेस्थीसिया की टीम यहाँ होगी, तो ज़रूरत पड़े तो हम तुरंत उनका केयर या इलाज यहाँ शुरू कर देंगे। और आपको बताऊँ, ये मैं समझ रहा हूँ कि मेडिकल प्रोफेशनल होने के नाते कि ये जो वैक्सीन है ये कहीं से ऐसे ही उठ के नहीं आ गया, ये तो बाकायदा ट्रायल एंड टेस्टेड वैक्सीन है। तो इस तरह की चीज़ों की हम बहुत समझिए कि उम्मीद कर नहीं रहे हैं, क्योंकि ट्रायल एंड टेस्टेड है।
Prime Minister Modi will also launch the CoWIN or COVID Vaccine Intelligence Network app for real-time monitoring of COVID-19 vaccine delivery and distribution. This digital platform will assist program managers across national, state and district levels while conducting vaccination sessions. Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan on Friday reviewed the preparedness for the rollout of the COVID-19 vaccination drive. He visited the dedicated COVID-19 control room at the Nirman Bhavan premises in the national capital. And during his visit, the Health Minister also reviewed the working of the CoWIN application. He said that India's COVID-19 exercise will be the largest immunization drive in the world. He reiterated that both COVID vaccines, Serum Institute's Covishield and Bharat Biotech's Covaxin are safe and most important tools to contain the pandemic.
का सबसे बड़ा कोविड का वैक्सीनेशन प्रोग्राम, उसकी शुरुआत भारत में हो रही है। कल हमारे प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी कल सुबह 10:30 बजे औपचारिक उसकी शुरुआत भी करेंगे। हमारी पूरी तरह से संपूर्ण तैयारियां हैं सारे देश में। कल हम 3006 स्थानों पर वैक्सीनेशन प्रारंभ करेंगे और इन 3006 स्थानों में लगभग 3 लाख के करीब हमारे हेल्थ वर्कर्स, चाहे वो सरकारी अस्पतालों में और सरकारी हेल्थ फैसिलिटीज़ में काम करते हों, चाहे वो प्राइवेट सेक्टर में काम करते हों, उनको कल कोविड की वैक्सीन मिलना प्रारंभ होगी।
Ahead of the COVID-19 vaccine rollout, the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has issued detailed guidelines on special precautions that need to be taken during the vaccination. So in this report, let's take a look at the do's and don'ts of mission vaccination. The Health Ministry has circulated a fact sheet to the states for both Covishield and Covaxin. The fact sheet includes physical specifications, dosage, cold chain storage requirements, contraindications, and any adverse event following immunization. COVID-19 vaccine is to be administered to those above the age of 18 years. Administration of vaccine should be separated by an interval of 14 days. The second dose should be of the same vaccine as the first dose. Interchanging of vaccines is not allowed. The Health Ministry has clearly stated those for whom the COVID vaccine is contraindicated. Persons with history of anaphylactic or allergic reaction to a previous dose of COVID-19 vaccine are contraindicated. Pregnant and lactating women should not receive COVID-19 vaccine at this time. Vaccine should be administered with caution in persons with history of bleeding or coagulation disorder. On the provision, temporary contraindications, the Health Ministry has said that the COVID vaccination is to be deferred for 4 to 8 weeks after recovery. Those with active symptoms of SARS-CoV-2 infection, SARS-CoV-2 patients who have been given anti-SARS-CoV-2 monoclonal antibodies on convalescent plasma, and acutely unwell and hospitalized patients due to any other illness. And India continues to report sustained decline in daily new cases of COVID-19. 15,590 new cases of coronavirus were reported from across the country in the last 24 hours. India's total cases have now crossed 1,52 lakh. The total active caseload has dropped to 2,13,000, comprising only 2.03% of the total positive cases. India's daily new fatalities have also declined substantially. 191 deaths were reported in the last 24 hours, taking the total death toll to 1,51,918. Also, with 15,975 recoveries reported in the last 24 hours, the total recoveries in India have crossed 1.01 crore. The national recovery rate has increased to 96.52%. Talking about tests now, over 7,30,000 samples were tested on Thursday. So far, more than 18 crore 49 lakh samples have been tested across the country. Kerala continues to report the highest daily cases at 5,490, followed by Maharashtra with 3,579, while West Bengal reported 680 new cases of COVID-19. Maharashtra also continues to see the maximum casualties, this time at 70. Kerala and West Bengal reported 19 and 17 daily deaths, respectively. Meanwhile, 114 people have been infected with the new mutated UK coronavirus strain across India. Moving on to some other news, the 253rd session of the Rajya Sabha will start on 29th of January. Unless otherwise notified, the time of sittings of the Rajya Sabha during the session will be from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., except on 29th of January and the 1st of February. The President will address both Houses of Parliament jointly at 11 a.m. on 29 January in the Central Hall. Rajya Sabha will have a separate sitting for government business 1 hour after the conclusion of the sitting of the Lok Sabha on 29 January. Since the Union Budget for 2021-22 will be presented in the Lok Sabha at 11 a.m. on 1st February, there will be no question hour that day in the Rajya Sabha. The sitting of the Rajya Sabha will accordingly commence 1 hour after the presentation of the Union Budget in the Lok Sabha. In view of the COVID-19 pandemic, summons have been issued through members' portal only. Article 85(1) of the Constitution empowers the President to summon each House of Parliament to meet at such time and place as he thinks fit. But this has to be within 6 months of the previous sitting that was held. The winter session of the Parliament could not be held due to the spread of the pandemic. The monsoon session of Parliament also had to be curtailed. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV. Question hour will be taken up in the budget session of Parliament. Notices of questions, both starred and unstarred, may be given either in the serially numbered printed forms or electronically through e-notices portal on the home page of Rajya Sabha website. In a sitting, a member can give a maximum of 7 notices of questions for question hour. 15 questions are taken up in all in one sitting. The chairman has also decided that 2 supplementaries may be allowed to the member in whose name a starred question has been listed. 3 more members may be allowed a supplementary each. In case of a starred question that is not put or the member in whose name it is appearing is absent, 3 members may be allowed a supplementary each. The draw of lots or ballot to determine the members whose notices of questions will be taken up for oral answers will be held manually. A separate computerized ballot will be held for unstarred questions. It will indicate the priority for written answers for a list of 160 questions. In order to encourage the digital platform and also to minimize use of paper, from the 252nd session onwards, printed lists of questions to members has been discontinued. The soft copy of question lists will be published on the Rajya Sabha website. The list of starred and unstarred questions will also be available after publishing the list on the website in the members' portal. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi had moved a motion in the previous 252nd session stating that starred questions may not be brought for transaction because of COVID-19. The motion was unanimously accepted. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV. The 253rd session of the Rajya Sabha will be in 2 parts, from 29th of January to 15th of February, and then after a break from 8th March to 8th April. There won't be any business during the weekends. In the previous 252nd session, the Parliament had functioned on Saturdays and Sundays as well. While Parliament had seen special sessions on Saturdays earlier, it was for the first time that a routine session saw legislators working on both Saturdays and Sundays. The government is of the view that there should be no curtailing of the budget session. The 252nd session, which started on 14 September 2020, was slated to conclude on 1st of October, but due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Rajya Sabha was adjourned sine die on 23rd September, yielding 10 sittings over 10 days. And private members' business will also be taken up in the 253rd session of Rajya Sabha. To determine the priority of pending private members' bills, a single draw of lot will be held for all the days allotted for private members' bills in the session on 22nd of January in the Secretary General's room. Private member bills will be taken up in the Rajya Sabha on Fridays on 5th February, 12th and 26th March and on 8th April, which is a Thursday. Private member resolutions will be taken up on 12th February, 19th March, on Fridays and on 1st April, which is a Thursday. Private members' business is normally taken up on Fridays. For this purpose, 2.5 hours of the sitting are allotted. However, the chairman, in consultation with the leader of the House, can also allot any other day other than Friday for private members' business. If there is no sitting of the Council on a Friday, the chairman may direct that 2.5 hours on any other day in the same week may be allotted. In such an eventuality, generally Thursday is allotted for the purpose. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV. Construction work of the new Parliament building started on Friday, over a month after Prime Minister Narendra Modi laid the foundation stone for the project. Being built under the government's Central Vista redevelopment plan, the new Parliament building will have a triangular shape and is expected to be completed by the 75th anniversary of India's independence in the year 2022. The government plans to hold the monsoon session of Parliament in 2022 in the new Parliament building. Also, the new building is being constructed by Tata Projects Limited. The estimated cost of the project is 971 crore rupees. Earlier this week, a 14-member heritage panel gave its approval to the new Parliament building, while also giving the go-ahead to the Central Vista redevelopment project. Prarambh, the two-day-long Startup India International Summit, kicked off in the national capital on Friday. The summit marks the 5th anniversary of the Startup India initiative launched by the government on 16th of January 2016. With participation from over 25 countries and more than 200 global speakers, the summit is the largest startup confluence organized by the government since the launch of the Startup India initiative. At the inauguration, Union Minister Piyush Goyal said the startup collaborations in the country have a huge potential as new ideas will lead to innovation and invention. He added that today's young generation have an immense entrepreneurial streak as they look to be job creators instead of job seekers. The minister also invited startups from neighboring South Asian countries to come together and collaborate. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be interacting with startups and he will address the event on Saturday. The two-day event will witness 24 sessions with focus on enhancing multilateral cooperation and engagement with countries from around the globe to collectively develop and strengthen the startup ecosystems.
We have started the year on such an auspicious note with Prarambh, getting together startups from across different countries around the world, an international summit to encourage the startup ecosystem. And what better way than demonstrating our neighborhood first policy with our colleagues from the BIMSTEC nations joining us on this inaugural session.
The third phase of Pradhanmantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana was launched on Friday in 600 districts across the country. The Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship is spearheading this phase. It will focus on new age and COVID-19 related skills. Now, under the scheme, over 8 lakh candidates will get digital technology training in the financial year 2020-21 with an investment of 949 crore rupees. Skill Development Minister Dr. Mahendra Nath Pandey interacted with students of the skill development centers. The minister said that the scheme will take skilling to the remotest of villages and towns in India.
डिस्ट्रिक्ट स्किल कमेटियों की स्ट्रेंथनिंग करके डिस्ट्रिक्ट स्किल कमेटी सेंट्रल में बैठे हम लोगों के यहाँ स्किल के मिशन और स्टेट स्किल डेवलपमेंट मिशन तीनों को ऐसा लिंकअप करना है कि तीनों एक दूसरे के पूरक का समन्वय बन करके और देश की जरूरतों के हिसाब से, इसके लिए मुझे स्वीकार करने में कोई संकोच नहीं है कि अभी हम डिस्ट्रिक्ट कमेटियों की जो परिकल्पना किए हैं उसे मजबूती देने के लिए हमें और कुछ करने की जरूरत है.
Remember, the government had launched the Pradhanmantri Kaushal Vikas scheme in 2015 under the Skill India program. Moving on, the central government and farmers' unions held the 9th round of talks in the national capital on Friday. The next meeting will take place on the 19th of January. Addressing the media after the meeting, Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar said detailed discussions took place during the 9th round of talks but could not reach a decisive stage. He urged farmer unions to form an informal group among themselves to prepare concrete proposals to be discussed in the next round of meeting.
हमारे मंत्री जी ने विस्तार से उस एक्ट को सभी यूनियन के साथ सामने रखा और उनकी जो शंकाएं हैं उनको समाधान करने की कोशिश की, लेकिन चर्चा निर्णायक मोड़ पर नहीं पहुंच पाई और उसके बाद यूनियन और सरकार दोनों ने मिलकर ये तय किया कि 19 जनवरी को दोपहर 12 बजे पुनः चर्चा करेंगे. मुझे आशा है कि जो चर्चा आज हुई है यूनियंस उस चर्चा को आगे बढ़ाने का प्रयत्न करेंगी। हमने उनको ये भी कहा है कि वो चाहें तो अपने बीच में एक अनौपचारिक समूह बना लें, जो लोग ठीक प्रकार से कानून पर बात कर सकते हैं, सरकार से उनकी अपेक्षा क्या है, कानून में किसानों के प्रतिकूल क्या आता है, इस पर डिस्कस करके वो कुछ मसौदा बना के अगर सरकार को दें तो सरकार उस पर खुले मन से विचार करने को तैयार है।
The Agriculture Minister further said that the government is holding talks with farmers' leaders with an open mind and hopes for positive discussions in the future. He also urged farmer leaders to be flexible in their approach, as has been the stance of the government.
जो बातचीत हुई है उसमें बहुत सारी उनकी जो शंकाएं हैं उनको पहचान किया है और उन शंकाओं को दूर करने के लिए अपना मत भी व्यक्त किया है और यूनियंस को लिखित प्रस्ताव भी सरकार की ओर से दिया गया है। लेकिन वो प्रस्ताव उन लोगों को मंजूर नहीं था, इसके कारण वार्ता चल रही है और हमारी कोशिश है कि वार्ता के माध्यम से रास्ता निकले और किसान आंदोलन समाप्त हो। किसान सर्दी में बैठे हुए हैं, कोविड का भी संकट है और इसके कारण सरकार को निश्चित रूप से इस बात की चिंता है और इसलिए सरकार खुले मन से और बड़प्पन से लगातार चर्चा कर रही है और मुझे आशा है कि संभवतः हम समाधान की ओर बढ़ सकेंगे।
Narendra Singh Tomar also welcomed the Supreme Court's decision to set up a committee to hear the grievances of the farmers. Remember, the Supreme Court had on Tuesday stayed the implementation of the 3 farm laws till further orders. It had also announced the formation of a committee to hear the grievances of the farmers as well as the opinion of the government. Till now, the centre has held 8 rounds of talks with the farmer unions and has reiterated government's commitment towards the welfare of farmers. India is observing the 73rd Army Day today. Army Day is observed on the 15th of January every year to mark the first Indian general taking over the command of the Indian Army from a British officer in 1949 and also to pay homage to the brave and selfless soldiers of the Indian Army. The Indian Army carried out a live demonstration of drone swarming capability using 75 indigenously designed and developed drones during the Army Day parade held at the Karyappa ground in Delhi on Friday. The drones carried out multiple mock operations, including kamikaze attacks, first aid delivery and parachute payload delivery exercises at the event. The parade also had anti-aircraft weapon system Shilka, BrahMos missile system, infantry fighting vehicle BMP-2, T-72 bridge-laying tanks and multi-rocket launcher system Pinaka.
सेना के आधुनिकीकरण के ये प्रयास आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री के आत्मनिर्भर भारत की पहल का एक अभिन्न हिस्सा है। भारतीय सेना मेक इन इंडिया के तहत 32,000 करोड़ के 29 आधुनिकीकरण प्रोजेक्ट्स की पहचान कर चुकी है। प्राइवेट इंडस्ट्री, एमएसएमई और एकेडमिया के साथ मिलकर सेना एक आत्मनिर्भर डिफेंस इकोसिस्टम बनाने में महत्वपूर्ण योगदान दे रही है। इससे स्वदेशी टेक्नोलॉजी को बढ़ावा मिलेगा और इंपोर्ट्स पर हमारी निर्भरता कम होगी। मुझे विश्वास है कि इन सब प्रयासों के हम एक आत्मनिर्भर सेना का विकास कर पाएंगे।
Marching contingents of the Jammu and Kashmir Rifles, the Maha Regiment, the Garhwal Regiment and the Jat Regiment participated in the Army Day Parade. Army Chief General Manoj Mukund Narwane conferred gallantry awards and unit citations at the event. Air Chief Marshal R.K.S. Bhadoria, Navy Chief Admiral Karambir Singh and Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat also attended the event. The President, the Vice President, the Prime Minister, Union Ministers and several other leaders greeted the soldiers on the occasion of 73rd Army Day. President Kovind remembered the brave hearts who made the supreme sacrifice in the service of the country. He said India will always remain grateful to the courageous and committed soldiers, veterans and also their families. Calling our soldiers an embodiment of valor, patriotism and dedication, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu said that our nation will always remember their invaluable sacrifices. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also greeted the Indian Army on behalf of the entire nation. He said that the Army is strong, courageous, determined, and has always made the nation proud. Nepal's Foreign Minister Pradeep Kumar Gyavli on Friday said that they have ensured that their soil will not be misused for the illegitimate interests of any neighboring country. He was speaking at an event organized by the Indian Council of World Affairs. Gyavli arrived in India on Thursday on a 3-day visit, and earlier in the day, he co-chaired the 6th India and Nepal Joint Commission meeting with External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar at Hyderabad House in Delhi. The two sides discussed several areas of cooperation, including political and security issues, as well as border management, and exchanged views on cross-border rail connectivity projects, including a possible Raxaul-Kathmandu broad gauge railway line. Nepal congratulated India on the remarkable success in the production of Covishield and Covaxin vaccines in India and requested for early provision of these vaccines to Nepal. Meanwhile, Nepal has also granted emergency approval for AstraZeneca's India-made Covishield vaccine against the novel coronavirus. The decision to grant the approval for the vaccine was taken on Friday by Nepal's Department of Drug Administration. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu visited Union Minister Shripad Naik on Friday at the Goa Medical College and Hospital. Naik is undergoing treatment after getting injured in a road accident. The Vice President also met with the doctors who are treating the 68-year-old minister. In a Twitter message following his meeting with the minister, the Vice President said that the minister is currently stable. The Prime Minister also spoke to Shripad Naik on the phone, inquiring about his health. Shripad Naik was admitted to the hospital on Monday night after he was seriously injured in a road accident in adjoining Karnataka. His wife and one close aide lost their lives in the car accident. So that's it from us in this bulletin. But before we leave, we once again appeal to all our viewers to stay safe from the COVID-19 pandemic. Don't lower your guard at all. Continue to wear face masks, wash your hands and face regularly, and don't forget to maintain physical distancing as well each time you step outside. Remember, these very simple precautions by you are all that it takes to defeat the ongoing pandemic. Good night. Thank you very much for your time. Take care of yourselves and your families.